Hi, it's Cindy, the founder of Feminine Mastery, and your host for our Fall Feminine Master series, Leap into Prosperity, where our feminine masters are guiding all of us to create our very own powerful, purposeful, and prosperous dream businesses. And there's a few different points of foundation to feminine mastery, and one of them that I love to talk about and teach is legacy. And this is where who you are and offering your gifts and your expression, whether that's in your family, your community, and definitely finding ways to create that ripple, to offer your gifts in such a way where it expands and it absolutely makes a difference and an impact in the world. And today we have a speaker who has a long history of overcoming personal challenges, rising to the top of a multi-million-dollar financial company, having many aha moments along the way, and with that, just taking a turn in her life to really serve women and to help them create their beautiful financial futures, their legacies. And this particular woman she's so unique and quite accomplished. She's a talk show radio host with over 800,000 followers. She is an author. She is the leader of the Smart Women community, coaching community. She's created a fantastic program called the 6 Pillars of Awakened Prosperity. Couldn't be more in line with our conversation in this series. So I can be more happy to welcome Katana Abbott with us today.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really excited to be part of your community and to connect our Smart Women community with you. So thanks for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. It's just, it never ceases to amaze me when the alignment that happens in these series with women from all over the world, all over the country, if we're talking about the US, and just really coming together out of their service to their communities, to women, and really expansion, expanding our messages and our reach. And I love the synchronicity of how all that happens. So I couldn't be more excited to have you here. So before we dive into these, you have this fascinating way of really looking at wealth and prosperity and how to help women really build that in a sustainable way. Before we dive into all of that, I wonder if you could start by telling us a little bit about your history and perhaps a leap that really is memorable to you on your path to success and prosperity.
Okay, it will be my pleasure. And so if anyone's read my bio, if they've had a chance to do that or, watch the videos, you're gonna know that, today I really have an amazing life. I have a wonderful, wonderful husband that I adore. We've been married for 30 years now. We just celebrated our 30th anniversary. And, we live on a lake. We have plenty of money. And life is really good, but it hasn't always been like this. So when I was just 6 years old, my father passed away and he left my mother with 3 kids. I was the oldest. And she really wanted to be taken care of. And so she looked for someone to get married to. And she ended up marrying a monster. And so we experienced 9 years. The next 9 years were terrible. And there was financial abuse, but there was domestic violence. And usually the two go hand in hand. So at the end of that 9 years, my mother was left homeless and with breast cancer. So I got a chance to observe this. But so often we go back to the familiar. And so for me, what that meant was I met someone who was 10 years older than me that promised that he was going to take care of me. He wanted to keep his green card, believe it or not. And even though in my heart I knew he was bad, I married him anyway, thinking I could change him. So anyway, I married him, and it was really, really a bad experience. He put me in the hospital. They had criminal charges against him. And so my first leap was when I divorced him, but I went to the courthouse. He actually jumped in the car and threatened to kill me if I didn't drop the charges, and I believed him. So I dropped those charges, and I went and I found myself living in a subsidized townhouse at the time. And I went out and got myself a job, and where they had free tuition to any university because I was an orphan. And I also had benefits, and I wondered to myself, because I didn't finish college. Gosh, I can't believe I'm telling this whole story to you, but I didn't finish college. And so I thought, well, what is it I could do? Because I did not want to work in this company, even though it was a phenomenal job. It was, I know now why I did it, because it wasn't my unique ability. And so I ended up realizing that my skill that I had developed as a child, going door to door, collecting holiday dollars for the poor. This was a gift my mother gave me, even though she didn't protect me. My brothers and me, she took us door to door collecting holiday dollars for the poor when we were children. And I went to parochial schools. And so I would go door to door selling Texas fruitcakes. I know some of you are familiar with those, and greeting cards and all kinds of things, zip code books when they first came out. And I always was number one. I used to come back from collecting these holiday dollars at the holidays, going door to door in the snow in the holidays in Michigan, in poor areas with over $100 some nights, which is just amazing. And so I realized when I was really down and out that day, I thought, I know what I can do. I can go sell. So I interviewed for some companies. I took a job going door to door, working with business owners, selling. And I did fabulous. And I ended up doing that for quite a few years. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but I was very, very successful with it. That led me into the job I had at selling cars at Tamaroff, where I happened to meet my husband, my current husband. And again, as you know, we've been married for 30 years. So, and then from there I went on into the financial planning. But this experience, what I want to share, it created the foundation for my passion of helping women and girls take charge of their life. Because I knew at that point I really wanted to make a difference with other women, because I saw this happen. So there's a quote by Anne Bancroft that I love, and it's, the things that we overcome in life really become our strengths. And I truly believe that. So when I look back over my life, I really have no regrets at this point. And I can see that it was all perfect, the good and the bad. And I've been able to take and connect these dots and find out all the little magic and miracles, and even the door-to-door selling that happened when I was a child, how all of it was perfect. And it taught me to make a difference and to help the less fortunate. So I always say to find the gift in adversity.
So Katana, what an extraordinary story. And I mean, I have chills, and I know that you're one of those women that her story is meant to not only inspire yourself and shape your life and your career and your calling, really, because what you've just painted the picture of is how your calling started at such a young age in that adversity and those really difficult situations, and also so much about your character of how you just took the next step. It's like, and that's part of the leap process is, okay, what's next? What's next on my calling? And that's just what you've so gracefully and powerfully done. So what about in addition to this story, which is clear that it's so much a part of your foundation, what's that memorable leap into prosperity, or what got you to make that turn and really dive into your calling, which is what you're doing today?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked me that. So there was something specific, because I was making a lot of money selling cars, and that's where I met my husband. And I realized I really wanted to do something else. So I was making, in today's dollars, 6 figures and had a free car and all this stuff. But I wanted to become a financial planner and learn how to invest money. So it was in my second year, and I was barely making enough to cover my expenses. I felt like such a loser. You know how that is. I mean, when you're not making any money and you're trying so hard, and I was just struggling, and I was ready to give up. And I had all these great contacts, but I had no idea, and from the years of working with business owners. And so I had no idea how to approach them. Our firm that I was working at didn't work really with business owners at the time. And so I had no one in my office to go to either. So, you know, I thought I was just going to give it up. And so I had to take this leap of faith to become a high-level financial advisor. I did not know how that was going to happen, but I had put it out there to the universe. So I went out and I met with, I used to go out and try to find centers of influence to work with. And I was talking to this attorney, and he was darling. And I told him my story. And I told him I was ready to give it up. And he said to me, well, tell me a little bit about who you know. So I started talking to him about it. And he said, oh my gosh, Katana. He said, you are so close to success right now. He says, you just don't even realize it. He said, I'm going to take you under my wing. He said, just bring them into me and I'll show you what to do. So, because I had been afraid to contact these people, as I told you, you know, it's totally out of my reach. So I made the calls and I brought them in, and then I sat down and I was quiet and I just listened and I watched. And that's important when you have a mentor, is to learn from that person. So that experience with him changed my whole paradigm in my life, because we were able to do things for these clients that I couldn't even imagine. It changed their lives. And I can't go into details because it's very, very private. But some of the amazing things I see happening today, funding of nonprofits and this idea of legacy, it all started back then. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. So within just a few months, my whole practice changed, and I was making six figures in that business. So then I realized, okay, I'm making a lot of money, but I really have to step up my game, because I'm still just a salesperson, as you know. I had not learned how to become a high-level advisor. I was observing it, but I didn't have the skill set. So I decided it's time to become a certified financial planner. And so if you're going to hire a coach, or you're going to take a coaching program, let's say, you really need to be ready to pay your dues. Whether it's the investments you're going to make, it's going to feel really uncomfortable, or the time commitment. And I know, Cindy, you get this, don't you? So anyway, I had little babies. And I went to work all day, came home, was mommy, and then I put those babies to bed, and I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning every night for 3 years. There was 6 exams I had to take and pass them, and 2 of them, tax and investments, I flunked, and I had to retake them, and that was really hard, but I didn't give up. I completed, and I was the first one to finish the comprehensive. So after you do 6, then you have to do the comprehensive. And I was the first one to finish it. I thought, oh, what did I do? But I passed it. So, you know, you want to make sure that you're continually investing in yourself, because when I got that CFP designation, not only did it take me to a different level, my mindset totally shifted. So there was another mind shift. But I still didn't know how to run a practice. So I realized, okay, now you're going to have to learn how to really run a business. So I hope you're taking notes. Educating yourself is so important. Getting certified in your practice, becoming your best, but also hiring a coach to learn how to run a business. So I took the Strategic Coach Program. A lot of you probably heard of it. It's phenomenal. And that was $10,000 a year, flying quarterly to Chicago. It, again, transformed my business. And so what happened, by the end, I brought on an assistant. He became my partner, actually, and not formally, but we just created a phenomenal team. And so what ended up happening is we ended up working together. We created a business that we managed over $100 million and had about 250 clients. And that was from putting together everything we learned in that coaching program. So I really recommend doing it. And I was so close to giving up. So I'm going to summarize in 3 little tips, because I know this is a long story. Number 1, find a mentor. And John Maxwell says it takes 10 years or 10,000 hours to become an expert in your field. So you can see that happen. It took me a long time to do that. You can shorten it with a mentor. You can jump leap. You can learn from them. So do that. It could even be a program. the second thing is identify your tribe. Find the people that love and cherish you and support you, and listen to them, and they're going to help hold you accountable. The third thing is never give up, because so often we give up just when we're right at that tipping point and we're about to have success, you know, like I did. So I hope you find that those 3 tips helpful and the story helpful.
Yeah, I think it's so relevant, and it's so great to have women that are watching and listening hear the story, because, you know, I mean, when women meet somebody like you, they think that it was like, oh, was she special, or she, you know, she's just gifted, or she was born this golden child, you know. And it's like, to hear your story and hear just how you kept showing up and how you kept elevating, and really you had mastery in mind, you know, reaching out to a mentor. There never was any option of giving up. And, you know, just so many lessons for, again, the women watching and listening today, and how they can apply it to their own lives and their own businesses, no matter, you know, what they do for their career, or if they're stepping out launching their own businesses. And it's funny, it's like feminine mastery is really softened the harshness and the grind of sort of doing business and creating business. But it doesn't mean we just sit back and relax. I mean, mastery is intense. You know, you look at Katana, and you look at the great masters, you know, whether it's science, you know, Einstein, Marie Curie, or you look at the painters, and it's like they never stopped. Their passion just, it led them to do a tremendous amount of work and mastery. And so, but it doesn't have to be a struggle at the same time. It can be that beautiful evolution and growth and path that you've, you know, painted for us here. And it's so inspiring as well. So thank you. No, thank you for sharing in that detail. And so now we're going to sort of shift gears and dive into that wisdom that you have. And I think I want to start with the myth. You know, what is that great myth that you've uncovered about women and money?
So the myth about money is that money itself is neutral. So your ability to make it, to grow it, to lose it has nothing to do with the money at all. It's really what's going on inside of your head. It's your belief system, it's your mindset, and which comes from your early childhood experiences. And so again, you need to go back and understand your money story and your relationship with money. And so that's why I do that whole program with the money personalities, because that is how I help women identify their disempowering beliefs. Because you know, it doesn't matter. You've seen people that get $1 million, and some people do great with it, some people lose it all. So the money is neutral. It's really your mindset and what's going on in your head, your belief system.
That's really powerful. And I think that, you know, when we're in our egos and fear, we project so much onto everything, and money gets I think money gets a bad rap a lot of times, like money this, money that, it's money's fault if I only had more. And it's really, I love that's what I'm getting, is that's just all a projection. Money's just neutral. It's out there going, hey, I'm here. Meet me where you are. Meet me with a different mindset. So tell us a little bit about your approach to the story. We haven't had anybody talk about that on the series. So about the story, yeah, about the story or the personality types, whatever you want to share with us on that would be fantastic.
So this is one of my favorite things to talk about. I absolutely love it. And I've helped hundreds of people with this, women mostly, but some men too. And the men have liked it too, which I was really amazed by. So we all have a money story. And so I shared mine. You can see where a lot of these experiences that I had affected me today and brought me to where I am. And you're going to have your own money story. So what I want to do is share 5 different money types, money mindset types that there are, and try to identify yourself. And you might think of someone else too while I'm doing this. But these money personalities are what cause women in a big way to undercharge, to undervalue ourselves. I get emotional when I talk about this stuff too. To wait to be asked, So we were never allowed to ask the boy on a date, right? To go to the prom, even to get married, we have to wait for them. And so these beliefs and these experiences, things like money doesn't grow on trees, all of that really stops women from charging what they're worth or receiving. I like that word, receiving what they're worth. And so it comes to these limiting beliefs that coincide with the 5 personalities. So I'm going to share them with you. There's love, security, value, recognition, and status. So I'll say them again: love, security, value, status, and recognition. So even saying those, they may resonate with you in a different way. So let's talk about love first. The love personality has no connection to money. And it's almost like it's play money, and even debt is play money. And I actually had a lady say, it feels like Monopoly money. She even said that to me, and I knew for sure it's a money personality. The desire, so I'm going to talk about the desire, the challenge, and the disempowering belief on each. Okay, so when I say each of these, I want you to think, make a note, say, oh, that's me. Okay, so the desire is belonging, wanted to belong. But then the challenge is self-acceptance, not accepting yourself. So how can you belong? The disempowering belief is, I need to do whatever it takes to get love. How does that feel? So if you feel it in your body, that's important. And so with a love personality, they're going to find themselves buying multiple things, thinking that the way you show love is to buy a gift, and when they get a gift, they think that person really loves them. and so they can run up a lot of debt because of these issues that come up, and sometimes they'll actually end up in bankruptcy. So I just want to share that. This is the money personality. For a friend of mine actually received $1 million inheritance, and she went through it in 4 years. So she was definitely love personality. We talked about that. So then there's security. So security, they're the overthinkers. They overthink their purchases and they micromanage money. And it's the only personality that likes to really deal with money, to watch it and deal with it, number crunching. They live very frugally. Okay, this is my husband. Opposite of me. So this is interesting. The desire for security personality is freedom, but their challenge is trust. So you can see how they're always kind of opposites. And so the belief system is, no matter how much I have, they're afraid that they're going to lose. It could be love, money, a job, that no matter how much they have, their big fear is that it's going to disappear or be taken from them. So think about what could have happened to that person when they were a child. So they observed scarcity. So my husband researches everything on the internet. He gets the best deals. It's fabulous, right? But there was a lot of talk in front of my children when they were little about, we can't afford it. Even though we could, we can't afford it. But we've fixed that since then, and the kids are really aware of it now. So once I started working with money personalities, it was so healing, and I'll talk about mine in a minute, but because we realized that we were perfect for each other. So it created a lot of stress, but today, I love the fact that he is a security personality, but you can become a very, very healthy security personality. So don't think it's a negative thing. The third one is value. So the value, they're often taken advantage of because all they do is give, but they give sometimes to the point of resentment. So if this is resonating, write this down for you. They desire significance, but the challenge is boundaries. So again, that idea of giving, not being able to say no. And so the challenge is not feeling they're a good person or not good enough. So think about that. So they're often find themselves at the mercy of others. They even give money they don't have, sometimes putting it on a credit card. Heard of that before? So, or feeling like things just happen to them. They have no control. And also, they could find themselves in a codependent relationship. Status, let's go to that one. So,
Katana,
yes.
before you go, what was the name of the last one? I think I missed that.
Value.
Value, okay, got it.
Value and boundaries.
Okay, got it. Okay, go to the next one.
Yeah, and I've got a daughter who's value, and we talk about this, and it's a really, once you understand it, it's a great way to have conversations. You can catch yourselves. So giving, see. So status person, they compulsively spend. They have to have the best of everything. They're going to have the newest gadgets. They're going to pick up the tab, maybe even lavish gifts on people. So their desire is validation. But the challenge is balance. So I know you're thinking if they're always going, they can't sit still. They're always going. The disempowering belief is no matter what I have, it's never enough. So you can see where that may have come from growing up. Okay, and the last is recognition. And with the recognition personality, they're the risk taker, the pie in the sky ideas. Often they're entrepreneurs, and they often get taken advantage of because I'll explain why in a second. But the desire is respect. So they want respect, but their challenge is realism. So how that shows up is, and I think the realism comes from something happening to them when they were little that wasn't fair. And so they tend to fantasize, and that's where these big ideas come from. So the disempowering belief is I need to prove I'm right, or I need to prove I can do it. So think about that. Does that resonate with you? When you think about each of these, I want you to see where you feel it in your body, if one of them resonates. So many entrepreneurs, they have these big ideas, and they may be very optimistic and take big risks. They could be very headstrong, not want to give in, and they could have a small problem that turns into a huge one, maybe a big debt. People like Donald Trump filing bankruptcy 4 times. I'm sure he's a recognition personality. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
So the key to all these beliefs is that they're tied to an experience growing up, and these experiences create core beliefs that are probably no longer true, but you carry them around like a badge of honor. And so what I want to where I want to go from here, because I know we're probably getting short on time, is these beliefs, they keep us playing small. They keep us from shining our light, okay? And our little girl pops up and says, no, no. So you say, I want to go do the speech. Okay, I want to come and be on Cindy's program on video. And I've never done this on video. And I'm going to cancel. So these beliefs keep us playing small. Do you see how that can happen? And what our job is to step into our power. And we have to do that by going and helping that little girl, which is our ego. It's our subconscious, feel safe. So I want you to go back, and if you can't do this on your own, you can contact me. I'll tell you as soon as we're finished here, but try to do this on your own. Figure out if you feel that one of those is you. Say the belief, and then see where you feel it in your body. It's probably one of your chakras. And so when you feel it in your body has stored that experience in a memory, and I want you to go to it. Okay, so it might be your heart, your gut. And when you go there, I want you to close your eyes and see, where were you when you first had that feeling? And just ask yourself, when I had this feeling in my body, where was I? It's going to take you to an experience when you were really little. And I want you to go through that. And sometimes they're horrific. And when that happens, we pull the little girl and put her in a safe place. And I want you to go to her and help her feel safe. Let her know how wonderful she is. Thank her. You're thanking yourself for what you went through, because just like my story, all those things that happened to you, even if they weren't horrible, they have created disempowering beliefs, because we all have them. And then I want you to let her know how her experience is helping you. Someday she is going to do these amazing things. And let her know what some of those amazing things are, and you'll be amazed by the shift in your energy. And then I usually follow up with some kind of breath work, kind of like Lamaze. If you had a baby and you did breathing, you could do candle breath. If you do yoga, you know about breathing. So you just breathe through it with a candle breath or piston breath until the energy shifts, and it's either going to shift up or it's going to go down. It's that simple. And so when the feeling comes up again, you get a big opportunity and you go into your fear, you don't have to do the whole thing. All you have to do is say, where do I feel it? and do the breath work, and you release it. It's that simple. So if you want some help with it, you can contact me. But I hope that what I shared is something that you can do for yourself. It's a nice gift.
Yeah, I think it's something that regardless of what our current level of prosperity is, it can just create so much freedom. Like you were talking about how you and your husband helped heal each other, and the awareness, helped you have better conversations with your daughter. And yeah, because and even that you grew up in the same family I'm thinking of, I have 5 sisters, and thinking we're all different. We grew up in the same house, but we have the different personality types. So that's really, I love it. It's just, my truth meter is going wild. So this is really, I think, something that is very relevant to all of us. So thank you for sharing in that detail and the healing piece. Before we shift to the 6 pillars and then the gift that you have to offer, I wonder, the one question that, I know that you have such a great answer to is, what is the one thing that women can do to shift their prosperity quickly?
Oh, and this is so simple too. It's not going to cost you any money. You don't have to sign up for a program. This is something you can teach your children. It's so lovely. Basically, all you have to do this very moment, and I think doing that energy work we just talked about will really help you with this, but just watch your words and your thoughts. Because remember, we talked about your little girl, your subconscious. Your subconscious observes everything it sees and it hears as a fact. And so anything that you're thinking or you're saying, like when, my husband would say, we can't afford it, it's recorded and then it becomes a belief. And so it's taken years for you to condition your subconscious mind. And so it's been running your life ever since. So watch every word you speak and every word you write, even things that you think. So just begin observing how you speak, the words you're using, what you say to your family. And remember, one of the most famous people, Napoleon Hill, said thoughts are things. And they truly are. So there's just, this morning I said, I'm so excited, I can't believe it. And I thought, that's not very good. So I changed it to, I'm so excited, I can see it happening right now. Whew, see, now that feels better. And then this other part, I want to help you because a lot of times, you really can't afford it, you think. So how can you change that wording? This is so simple. Instead of saying, we can't afford it, you can say, we're choosing to spend our money differently. Now, how does that feel? One of my friends started doing that with her children, and she heard her child do it with his friend. Now my daughters are doing it with their friends, because they're still starting out. They really can't afford it. But I said, don't ever use those words. You remember what that was like and how it made you feel. So by focusing on prosperity, and prosperity words. I actually teach a whole prosperity practice as the very first thing when we have something called the Midlife Millionaire Mastermind, and we teach a prosperity practice that you do every day, and it's all around these kind of things, and going into source and journaling and meditating and praying. And so by focusing on prosperity, we raise our vibration. We also raise our vibration going into gratitude. And when we can be in a high vibration and watch what we say, watch the magic. And I want you to get a journal and start recording. So start writing down what you're grateful for and watch the words you say. And watch and see if you don't have more joy and ease in your life, feminine mastery, and in prosperity. I promise you it will show up. So I highly recommend a prosperity practice.
So great. And what you said about the feeling, the looking for the feeling, right? That's where our meter is. We so often subconsciously think, just allow our mind to dish out those thoughts that are based on the subconscious. They're not the thoughts we would choose. And so just to slow everything down and try different thoughts on. And I loved how we physically could see you doing it in the moment, and then your body opened up, you could breathe easier. And again, I couldn't be with you more. This is available to all of us, and you can just play with it. You can write down the thoughts and beliefs all different ways and see which one fits the best. So, all right, so let's transition into your gift, which I think has to do with the 6 pillars, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, and we have about 10-15 minutes, you know, that we can use. So just use your judgment and share, because I know you've given us so much already, but whatever's relevant in the moment that you want to share about the 6 pillars, and then absolutely we'll move into sharing the free gift that you have for everybody.
Okay, great. Thank you. And because I know you had asked all of us to think about what is prosperity to us, and it was interesting because this idea of I'm known as the, you know, you say, are you a glass half empty or a glass half full? I'm glass overflowing kind of gal. And it's funny because my life has been, you know, very difficult, you know, growing up, and I keep getting through it and keep going to the next level. And so this word prosperity to me, I absolutely love it. And so to me, prosperity is not money. It's money's part of it, but it's really having vibrant health, wealth, and happiness. You need all 3. Being a financial advisor all those years, I remember so many people that I worked with that they would save, 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 and work themselves to the bone. And they would get to retirement and they'd have health issues. And you know, in fact, my girlfriend is a financial planner too, and she works with a lot of elderly people now because she's been doing this for 30 years like me. And she said to me, Katana, I can't do this anymore. My clients were crying. They're in their 70s. She had 3 clients cry because their health was bad, and another one because she no longer had her spouse. So do you see, you could have all the money in the world, but without the vibrant health and this joy and happiness that comes from really becoming present and having a purpose, all the stuff that everyone is going to be talking about in this series, that's what I call awakened prosperity. So I'll share the 6 pillars of awakened prosperity with you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, good. So it's a 6-step process, and I'm actually giving everyone, so if anybody's gone in and got the free gift that I have, it's at midlifemillionairesecrets.com, and I'm sure there's a link for it. But you'll see that there's 3 videos. And the first video, I talk about why it's never too late to become a midlife millionaire. And you really want to watch this video because it only takes $800 a week to duplicate the effect of having $1 million in the bank. So if you want to learn that and how to do it, I highly recommend watching video number 1. Video 2 is about mindset, and video number 3 is this process that I'm going to share here, which I'm just going to give you it in a nutshell. But I go deep into it with the story, and there's workbooks for all 3 videos. So we worked real hard putting this together. I hope you enjoy it. And so the first pillar is the dream. And the dream is where you create your vision. And it's where you want to go. And it's the most important thing, because if you don't know where you want to go with a lot of clarity and joy, the universe is not going to have any idea how to help you get there. And so Stephen Covey says, start with the end in mind. So we start with the vision, with the dream. Pillar number 2 is discovery, and we spend 80% of our time there. We spend a lot of time there. And that's where you get clear on not only the vision and going deeper with that, but it's where you identify your goals and your values and your unique abilities and talents and what makes you tick and why you're here and what you want to do and really why you want to do it. And we go very deep on all that. So that is super important. So you need to spend time in discovery. And a lot of times people will skip over that and jump right to goals. Well, when we do discovery, we go so deep that pillar number 3 is called, you're going to love this, the leap. That's great. So the leap is when you make a decision. You don't need to know the answer. You just have to make the decision, because when you make the decision that you want to do something, I want to write the book, I want to do the speech, I want to become a coach, or have a baby, have a relationship, lose weight, any of those things, what happens is you send that out to the universe. But the problem is that as soon as we put that out there, we go into fear almost every time. And the little voice comes in to protect us from getting hurt with, you know, you can't do that. Are you crazy? Let's put this off for 6 months. You don't have enough money. Are you crazy? You got that. So we work through the LEAP with some of the things we talked about here. So pillar number 4 is the plan. And that's the work. So you have to develop your steps, your team, your system, your processes. And there's a lot going on there. And we didn't really get to talk about this front stage, backstage thing that I do, but you really need to figure out your unique abilities and then delegate, outsource everything else. So you really want to get some help when you work on the plan. So once you get your plan in place, pillar number 5 is the dance. And the dance is when it gets fun, because now you get to test. It's just like Dancing with the Stars. So you're testing. Sometimes it's a great dance. Sometimes it's a horrible dance. You fall flat, you face plant. But you have to get up and say what worked well and what did I learn from this. And listen, when you make mistakes, those are the best teacher yet. So mistakes are our greatest teachers. So you try it again and you tweak it. So it's all about testing, and time management is also here in the dance, really important. So finally, you reach mastery. So mastery is amazing. It's where you're at the top of your game, your confidence is soaring, you're earning the money that you're supposed to be making. It's a very joyful place because you can also do the legacy part of giving back and making a difference. And there's one little thing that happens in mastery is so often you end up having a new dream and you get to go through the whole process again. So that's the 6 pillars of Awakened Prosperity System. And that's why I said earlier that I've done it over and over and over, and I realized those were the steps. So if you're interested, you can pick up the video. It's the 3 videos in the workbooks, and it's midlifemillionairesecrets.com. And you'll also be included in the Smart Women Coaching Community. We've been around since 2003. You'll get 100 days of inspirational quotes by wonderful women, and our weekly easy, and there you'll know who the new guest is on the show. You'll get invited. We have a weekly show with 800,000 subscribers now. We're so excited about that. And you also will have access to our mobile app, and that's where you have everything. Oh, and we have bloggers, guest bloggers, so and movie reviews. So you'll get all of that through our mobile app, and then it's right on your mobile phone. So anyway, I hope you come join our community. I'd love to have you, and just midlifemillionairesecrets.com. And anyone who finishes it and wants to talk about their dream, you can go to talkwithkatana.com. talkwithkatana.com. It's so easy. And there you can book a session to just chat. So that's my 6 pillars of Awakened Prosperity. I hope you come join us.
So beautifully presented. And I have to say, you've got this complete system. You've got it down, from having walked your path to the personality types, to rewriting the story, to the understanding of the ego, to the understanding of embodiment and the feelings and emotions, to having the 6 pillars pathway for women. And I'm sure there's a whole lot more there too. I mean, I feel, talking to you, it's just, I feel the sense of relief, and that no matter where I am or where I want to go, that there's this system out there that can get me there. And definitely, you know, your guiding light and your passion and your heartfelt commitment to your community and to all of our viewers here in the Feminine Master Series. I just really want to thank you for your generosity and your openness and just sharing who you are. Just total inspiration to me, and I'm sure all the women watching and listening. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been my honor, and it's been really wonderful. I didn't know what this would be like, but I love it, and I hope I shared some things that will help you.
No, absolutely. Just really, I called her the golden girl at the beginning with her golden backdrop. You truly are. What a golden, gorgeous woman and feminine master that you are, Katana. So thank you so much for being with us. And thank you, everybody watching. And here it is, the wealth to prosperity, or the path to wealth and prosperity right in front of you. So definitely take Katana up on her offer, and let us both know, what changes and how you're doing. It's really, really very exciting for all of us. So, and we thank you for being here today, and we'll see you on the next interview.